Y'all. Oh my gosh. So it's been a couple weeks since we've talked about Beautycounter, the MLM, multi-level marketing company, having lots of issues right now. It just got so much worse. There was a bunch of drama that I thought was going to be like peak. Oh no, oh no. We were like halfway up the mountain to where we are now. Like it's nuts, dude. It is so nuts. I cannot wait to tell you the story. I also heard from two of the former employees that we had talked to the last time we covered this, and they have some insights, things that I hadn't thought about just because they know the inside of the business so well. I can't wait to share with you the things that they had to tell me about what is going on with Beautycounter and some of their theories. We also have KJ Miller speaking out about the sale of her company, Mented, and how that is going to affect the business. Will she continue with the brand? She released that information this week. I know a lot of people were very concerned about another Black-owned beauty brand being sold to people that aren't Black. And what is that going to do to this company? KJ gave us a lot of extra information this week. Building on the major story we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, Youthforia, the debacle with the Shade 600 Foundation. We have a little update on that, but then there was a really interesting article where CEOs of other small businesses spoke out about what their thoughts were on what happened and whether they think that Youthforia has any chance of coming back from this. I have so many stories for you today that are absolutely fascinating. We have another celebrity beauty brand. We have a celebrity that is leaving the brand that she founded. And we have a possibly well-intended law in California that has been proposed that is supposed to be protecting kids who are shopping at Sephora, but in my opinion, it completely misses the mark. So if you're interested in those stories and a few more, hang tight. We're about to get into it right now. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to What's Up in Makeup, where we talk about everything that happened across the beauty industry all in one place. This is just 1 week's worth of news, and so much has happened. We have a lot of new people joining us in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness recently, so if this is your first episode of What's Up in Makeup, welcome. Hi, I hope you enjoy the show. It is now time to jump into this Beautycounter story, though, because it is a messy mess. So many things happening. Last time on Who's the Boss, we were talking about Beautycounter and Greg Renfrew. So Greg Renfrew was the founder of this fear-mongering, clean beauty pushing, multi-level marketing company. She sold the company for a reported $1 billion, and she ended up leaving the company. The inside people that I've spoken to said that she was ousted from the company specifically, but then early in 2024, she was asked to come back as CEO. Shortly after that, Counter Brands, which is the LLC, they were doing business as Beautycounter, went into foreclosure. Now, Greg set up another company. It is called G2G. She used that LLC to buy back some of Beautycounter's assets. She went on the Beautycounter Instagram and said, "We are shutting things down for now because of the foreclosure, but we're getting everything transferred over. We will be back in early May." As part of the foreclosure, what they call brand advocates, these are the people that own their own business that are selling Beautycounter to friends and family or wherever they can sell them, the way that someone might sell Avon or Mary Kay or Lime Life by Alcone. They were promptly fired. They were sent a letter. Not everybody, apparently, but a lot of people were sent this letter that said, hey, you no longer work for Beautycounter. You're not a beauty advocate anymore. You'll get the commissions you've earned up to this point, but no more money, no more nothing. You don't sell for Beautycounter anymore. Same thing happened with their corporate offices. They had a call, and on that call, they told the corporate staff, hey, you don't work for Beautycounter anymore. You are going to have your last payday is going to be tomorrow. Your health insurance is going to be cut off at the end of the month, and you get no severance, and that's just the way that it is. For a more detailed account of all of this, check out the April 21st episode of What's Up in Makeup, where I go over everything in a lot of detail. But we're going to move past that now and talk about what happened this past week. So as you know, May 1st has come and gone, and Beautycounter did not relaunch. Instead, on May 8th, they put up a new post on their Instagram. It read, "Dear Beautycounter customer, Thank you for your loyalty and support of the Better Beauty movement. As many of you are aware, a few weeks ago, Counter Brand, doing business as Beautycounter, was forced to close its doors. I recently formed a new company which was able to acquire some of Beautycounter's former assets, including the rights to sell Beautycounter products in the future. I originally planned to launch this new company this May. However, after weeks of the team working around the clock, it became clear that if we want to do this right and in a way that will best serve you, our customers, and community, we must take more time. The goal is to publicly launch the new company in late 2024. In the meantime, we encourage you to shop the high-performing products you know and love at Ulta stores through July and Ulta.com through July and beyond. Please be on the lookout for emails and updates from us. Thank you for your support, and again, for being a valued member of our community. I look forward to serving you in the future. XX Greg. One thing that's new since the last time we talked about this is that Beautycounter has cut off all comments on Instagram. There is a similar but not identical statement over on the Beautycounter website. It reads as follows: "Thank you for visiting us. Something new is on the way. We're currently working to build a new company, but don't worry. We'll be back later this year with the safer, high-performing products you know and love, as well as some other surprises." And then it's followed by the same pitch about going to go buy your stuff at Ulta. The statement continues: "If you want to be one of the first to hear about our launch later this year, drop your email below and we will be in touch as soon as we have more to share. Thank you for your support and for being part of the Better Beauty movement." According to the publication Beauty of Fashion, the beauty advocates also got their own email. And in this, Greg told them that beauty advocates would be part of the new Beautycounter brand, but the structure may be just a little bit different. They were still figuring that out. As a side note, all non-seasonal brick and mortar Beautycounter stores are now closed, and the seasonal store that is in Nantucket will be open at some point in the summer, according to the brand. Another thing that was interesting in the brand advocate email is Greg talks about the product offerings, and she says, quote, "As with all other elements of the business, the team will evaluate the right assortment and offering for the future." So this suggests that the products that were once available through Beautycounter, not all of them most likely will be coming back. This is where it gets really messy. The end of the email, it says something about all aspects of the community and sales structure, including earnings and job titles, will be assessed. Hold on to that, because we know more about that now. There is a TikToker named Roberta Blevins who is an anti-MLM TikToker. She has been covering this. People have been giving her all of this inside information, and she has been putting it on her TikTok for everybody to kind of put the pieces together. If you want to hear more about this, I highly recommend going to check out Roberta's videos. On May 9th, Roberta released 2 videos. And the reason why it was 2 instead of 1 is that the first one, she talked about some things, and then she found an additional huge amount of information from the beauty advocates about what's going on behind the scenes. Wait till you hear this.
There is so much stuff that's coming out about Beautycounter right now. I have another update. There's some speculation. We're going to have a conversation. But let me show you what I have learned within the last 4 hours. I was sent a message letting me know that the video I had just made was already out of date. And then I was forwarded this story. Let's make it bigger so it's easier to read. Hello, leaders. We know that there was a lot of information shared yesterday, information that was difficult and that many of you are still processing. We thank you for your time and support as we navigate these uncharted territories. As shared on the call, we have been in contact with the CEO of Arbonne, so you can learn about an opportunity with them for you and your teams to explore as a place to softly land during this time. As a B Corp with a highly regarded, long-standing reputation in the industry, we would like to invite you to learn more about their company and how they will be welcoming our leaders into their community, should you choose. There will be an information session for managing directors and executive directors only on Wednesday, May 8th at 10 a.m. Please see call information below. Please do not forward. If you are interested, feel free to let Kelly and Sarah know so we can give our friends at Arbonne a heads up you will be attending. Thank you again, G2G. And then this was added on the story. This email only went to MDs and EDs, not me personally. I'm not against someone finding a new source of income. I just feel weird about Beautycounter, G2G, recommending where to go as a soft place to land and hosting an opportunity call. Gives me gross vibes, to be honest. Oh, you are spot on the gross vibes. So let's unpack this a little bit. There was an opportunity call this morning for Arbonne that only the top earners were allowed to go to. These top two ranks, so that the tops of the pyramid have a soft place to land after Beautycounter closed. These two top ranks that only make up 0.6% of the entire company. So I have a couple questions and I want to talk about them in the comments. So let me know what you think about my theories. 1, anybody can join Arbonne. So the fact that they hosted a special opportunity call for the top 0.6% of this company makes me think there's something extra being tacked on to that deal. And from my personal experience, from going from one MLM and being recruited into another, oftentimes there are bridge contracts involved. Because why else would you not want to forward an opportunity call? 2, what does this mean for Beautycounter in October? Because hear me out. Why would you give your top 6% of the company an opportunity call to another company if you're planning on coming back in 6 months? My theory, and I'm calling it right now, is if Beautycounter comes back as G2G in fourth quarter October, they will not have an MLM leg. They may have a beauty advocate affiliate program, but I don't think there's going to be a team aspect. Only because then they're going to have to try to get all of the people they referred to Arbonne 6 months ago back. That's not going to happen either. Another point I have to make going back to the bridges is something that I've asked multiple times. What the fuck are consultants going to do without income? And let's be perfectly honest, the ones that have the most to lose in this situation are those top tiers. These are the monthly average earnings of those at the top of Beautycounter's pyramid. When you're losing a monthly income of these numbers, a bridge contract is very attractive. Because again, why would that opportunity call for Arbonne have only been for the top 0.6% of the pyramid? But these are just my speculations based on my opinions from the experiences that I have had as an advocate for the last 7 years. This Beautycounter thing is getting messy, and the scream I scrumped when I got this text today. I present an important announcement from the home office of Arbonne. As you may have heard by now, Beautycounter has experienced a significant change, which has caused many of their consultants and brand advocates to seek other opportunities. Because you have built an amazing Arbonne community, the CEO of Beautycounter is supporting Arbonne as an option. We have many similarities, such as our integrity, clean products, and the fact that we are proudly a B Corp company. Many consultants from Beautycounter have already joined the Arbonne family. They are seeking to build a business and provide opportunities for their teams along with safe, innovative products for their customers. Many have signed up as new independent consultants with the Arbonne leaders they already know, and others will sign up over time when they connect with our field leaders. Arbonne is not facilitating this contact and expects to have the connections happen organically. Everyone will join as independent contractors and grow from their business from there. As you can imagine, this has been a difficult time for Beautycounter, and we ask that you respect this sensitive time for the Beautycounter field. We are currently running our Power to District and Power to Area Manager incentives, which may provide an opportunity for them to grow quickly through our compensation plan. With this, in combination with other May incentives, like our free PC sign-up and IC registration rollback, we are perfectly positioned to support growth for everyone. So what does that mean? Well, Arbonne is letting their field know that there's going to be an influx of people coming and to leave them alone and let it happen organically. And that email was followed up by this question. But also, I'd love for you to address this re the opportunity call. If those BC top earners decide to come to Arbonne, who gets them? My guess is that they are placed in the downline of already top earners in Arbonne, further skewing the playing field so that the top makes more money and the bottom gets screwed. That's certainly a possibility. We saw in that email that people from Beautycounter have already reached out to existing Arbonne teams and joined on their own. And depending on whether or not there are bridge contracts or special deals, like there could be a variety of options that happen. I don't really know anything about the structure over at Arbonne and like who's in what spot. So I'm not sure if it would be beneficial to put a top leader from Beautycounter underneath a top leader at Arbonne, or to have that top leader from Beautycounter start her own leg entirely. At this point, anything's possible. We are getting emails from Beautycounter and now Arbonne like every couple hours, and I just don't even have the time to update all of this as fast as I can. And we're getting this out, and I feel like as soon as I get something out, there's another email that contradicts the things that I said in the video that I just made. I also got this email. This says, good morning. This was from this morning. I don't have time to go into all of it, but we will go over the highlighted spots. It says that people are cheering them on, and she's had lots of MLM owners reach out to her to say how sorry they were that this has happened to them. And surprise, surprise, they were all so generous to offer a safe landing spot for the Beautycounter community during these next few months. Of course, they're reaching out. They run pyramid schemes and they need warm bodies. They also want to let us know that if we are directing our anger at Greg, that we should reconsider and maybe withhold judgment and try to turn that into gratitude. I feel like I never see this weird culty loyalty anywhere aside from MLMs, religions, and cults. So we should all blame Carlisle because they're the one that chose profit over people, and Greg is so disheartened that people are attacking her for things that she has not done and she's not responsible for. I understand being upset about people choosing profits over people, but isn't that what Beautycounter's literally doing right now? And wasn't it Beautycounter who reached out to the private equity firm in the first place? Do we need a refresher in what private equity does? They literally choose profits, and the liquidity risk of private equity is pretty high. And then we circle back to that leadership call that happened where only 0.6% of the company was invited to join. So leaving 99.4% of the company to what? Go fuck themselves? And these leaders left that call feeling so encouraged about what lies ahead. Is it because you were offered a bridge contract? She ends it by saying, I will continue to provide updates as I get them. And I'm going to end this by saying, I'll do the same.
The way that Roberta ended that is exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, if they're trying to give their top 0.6% of advocates a safe place to land, that is weird, because why would you encourage your top earners to go to a different company? And what is in it for Beautycounter to do that? Because if Beautycounter reopens their MLM arm of the company, they're probably not going to be able to get their advocates back. So it just doesn't make any sense. So to me, it sounds like Beautycounter is going to end their MLM arm of the company, that all of the beauty advocates that were not this 0.6% are going to be completely asked out. They just haven't been told that yet. But wait. There's more. Because remember last time we talked about this, I talked to you about how 3 of the people from the corporate arm of Beautycounter had reached out to me and told me their stories. 2 of them reached back out to me because they still know people that work for Beautycounter. They've seen the emails going in. They know the back end of Beautycounter really well. So they have different theories and things that they have heard that aren't public right now. So the first person to contact me was the person that we called Alexis. In her email to me, she spoke about the brand exiting Ulta in stores and has reason to believe that the online stock is only going to be available until they sell out. That is her theory. She also heard that there was a major uptick in sales over at Ulta on Beautycounter products after May 1st came and went. She has a couple of theories for why this happened. And the first one is that when the Beautycounter website didn't reopen on May 1st, the advocates didn't start selling the products again. The only place to get those refills of Love products or to try new ones were to shop at Ulta. The other one is that there's a possibility that some of these brand advocates may have some outstanding pre-orders and that the advocates themselves are ordering from the Ulta website in order to fulfill those pre-orders at their own expense. She said if this happened, then the beauty advocates would be buying these products from Ulta at a loss to them. Alexis also pointed out that because Beautycounter won't relaunch until Q4, that the advocates, if they even still have a job when they relaunch, that they are now just sitting around waiting in order to earn more money because they're not earning any commission during this time. They literally can't do their jobs. This is what Alexis said, quote, "I would not be surprised if there's an influx of Beautycounter on the resale market over the next few weeks as a result of this announcement. And more importantly, I believe more people will come forward with their stories." And there's a theory to that as well, because Alexis is speculating here. And again, this is just pure speculation. She doesn't have any evidence of this, but just based on her knowledge of the back end of the company, this is what she thinks. She thinks that Greg may have run into some problems with the foreclosure and the use of the name Beautycounter because the foreclosure is on the brand that was doing business as Beautycounter. So the transition over to whatever Greg is doing may not have been as smooth as she thought it was going to be. And there may need to be a full rebrand of the products. So even though they would be the same products, like Greg had said, they would need all new packaging. And a full and total rebranding is going to take a significant amount of time if that's what's happening. Then I heard from the person that we called Nancy, and wow, wow. New development here. So the letter I'm going to put on the screen is the letter that was sent out to Beautycounter vendors. So these are the companies that sell Beautycounter. These are not the advocates. These are the vendors like Ulta. It talks about how Counter Brands LLC, which did business as Beautycounter, stopped operations due to financial difficulties and the banks foreclosed on the assets of the company. Here's the quote. "Certain assets of Counter Brands were sold in a foreclosure sale to a new company called G2G Newco Inc. This is Greg's new company. This is the key point that Nancy pointed out to me. G2G Newco Inc. did not assume any obligations of Counter Brands before they went into foreclosure, and these obligations will be dealt with through an assignment for the benefit of creditors." So this is what that means. Greg sold Beautycounter for $1 billion, right? Allegedly. Then she went on her merry way. The new owners drove it into debt. And then she came back as CEO. And then she bought back part of the company from Beautycounter. They sold certain assets to Greg, but not the debt. According to Cornell's Legal Information Institute, assignment for the benefit of creditors is a voluntary alternative to formal bankruptcy proceedings that transfers all of the assets from a debtor to a trust for liquidating and distributing assets. So what I believe that means is that Greg is going to continue making money off of the pieces that she bought, but any debt that they owe to Ulta or any of these other retailers, Greg does not have to worry about. Those companies are going to have to wait for the legal proceedings to go through in order to get their money. And that is if they get their money at all. We followed that Morphe form of bankruptcy thing for over a year. And because there were so many companies and people that had debt that was not secured with that bankruptcy, they got nothing. So in all of this, it looks like those companies might be asked out while Greg runs off with all of the profits and all of the money. As I'm saying this, I'm realizing that I'm filming this ahead of time before this goes live, and I'm not seeing everything that's going out. So it is possible that somebody else somewhere already put this out into the public, especially with how many people that were affected. So if you are a Beautycounter brand advocate, based on all of this, if you were my friend, if I knew you personally, I would tell you to please go find another source of income, because it looks like Greg may just not be telling you that she's not going to bring back the beauty advocate program as an MLM. There may be more of an affiliate setup for it where you'll earn a commission similar to the way that influencers earn a commission on sales. It may be something like that, but I think that the MLM portion may be over. I will continue to follow this and let you know anything that I see, anything that's new that's happening. I'll continue to keep in touch with Alexis and Nancy, and if anything new happens, I'll be sure to let you know. The topic of Mented cosmetics has been a touchy one over the past 6 months or so, and that's because Mented kind of didn't shut down, but we knew something was going on because they stopped posting on Instagram, and like we've talked about many times, the Instagram account of a brand is a lot like the lifeblood of the brand, and to go from posting regularly to not posting at all is a sign that something is going on. The other big sign was that people that love Mented products would go into the store to buy something that they wanted, and the entire display would just be sold out. The Mented website had no product available. From January of 2024, you just couldn't get these products. They weren't available anywhere. In the April 21st episode of What's Up in Makeup, we talked about how Mented was acquired by a company called West Lane Capital Partners and that they would be joining the Blooming Brands portfolio. To be clear, not Bloomin' Brands, aka Outback Steakhouse, not that one. It's Blooming Brands. They have a makeup line, they have a skincare line, and then they have a pro nail supply line. In the post that I talked about on April 21st, we talked about how KJ Miller, the founder and CEO, she was commenting underneath people's posts trying to reassure them, but people were still very upset because we've seen a lot of Black-owned beauty brands, especially women-owned Black-owned beauty brands, being sold to people who are not Black and then don't have anybody on their boards. They don't have anybody that can really help to make sure that the brand remains inclusive to the people that it was created for. KJ assured people that the brand was not changing, that it was still going to be the same formulas, and then she said that she would be there to help guide the brand through the relaunch. And to me, that sounded like she was only going to be there for a short period of time after the relaunch, and then she would probably be leaving the brand. Well, KJ, I did not know, has a YouTube channel, and she released a video this week talking about the details of the sale where she gave some extra information. Here are some selected clips. To watch the entire video, check the link down below.
The brand has basically been on hiatus since January this year is when we stopped shipping. Basically, we were out of stock of almost all of our best sellers, and we were not able to continue shipping. And because of this acquisition, we are now in a position where we're able to turn everything back on and be back in stock on all of our bestsellers. We haven't circled an official launch date yet because things are in production. Sometimes production gets delayed. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, but it will be summer 2024. So to address some of those concerns, one, we have not changed our formula for any of the products. In terms of this acquisition, nothing is changing. Not even the packaging, honey. The packaging is staying the same. A lot of times when people get acquired, the first thing that happens is all of the packaging changes. I'm not saying the packaging will never change, okay? Let's be clear. Brands get updated all the time. But this relaunch this summer, same formulas, same shades, same suppliers, same packaging, okay? It's going to be the same. The difference is you're going to be able to get it. We're going to be in stock. Okay, we have not been in stock. We have been out of stock. You're going to be able to get your products. That is the only thing that's changing. And obviously that is a good change. So let's just start there. I know that there's worry around that, but that was very important to me. And believe me when I say the Blooming Brands team, they get it. They are not out here trying to disrupt what was working. And the truth is our products and our formulas and our shades were working. But now I want to talk about acquisitions a bit more broadly, because I think there is this notion that brands sell their companies purely to, make a buck because founders want to get rich. And I'm not going to lie, founders do want to get rich. Founders, people start companies to make money. Now, let's just be very real about that. However, a lot of times acquisitions do not happen because someone is making a ton of money. And the real honest to God tea is sometimes a brand ends up in a position where they either sell or perish. Sometimes brands get acquired and have a big splashy exit and make a lot of money. My girl Nancy over at Briogeo, and my girl Monique over at Mayel, and Beatrice over at the Honey Pot. They made some money, okay? But that's not always what it is. Sometimes you have situations where a brand, if they want to continue on, if the brand wants to continue living, to see another day, acquisition is the only way. And that's the position Mented was in. I'm here to tell you the honest to God truth. That's the position Mented was in. And I killed myself basically for a year trying to get a deal done because I care so much about the brand and want the brand to continue on. Killed myself, okay? It got dark. It got dark. We won't go into too much detail here, but it got dark trying to get this done. So I think that's just something to keep in mind, because I know in our community especially, sometimes we hear about an acquisition and we get nervous because we think, oh, this was a money grab and now the product's going to be worse. Well, first of all, this was not a money grab. And second of all, the product's staying the same. So I hope y'all will still join us on this journey. The final thing I want to address is my involvement. So I got a lot of questions on our Instagram post, people wanting to know, am I sticking around? And at the time I said I will definitely be sticking around through the relaunch to help get the brand to its relaunch. And I didn't really say much past that, frankly, because I was taking time to really think it through. Now I am sure that I will be staying with the brand. I am officially the brand president. So that's fun. It's fun to have a new title doing basically the same job. But I'm excited. I am staying on as the president of Mented, and I have just loved working with the Blooming Brands team so much that it made sense. It made sense for me to stay on, bring the brand into its next chapter, but also like grow the brand as part of its next chapter. I'm really excited about that, and just I feel so grateful to have the opportunity to do that.
I wish KJ and the team at Mented all the best. And if you are a Mented customer, I am so happy that you are now going to be able to get your products. Just a short update on the Youthforia Shade 600 fiasco that we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. If you are not up to speed with what is going on, if you just Google search for the articles, there's so many articles out there. I did a full in-depth video on this that I will link down below for you. Essentially, Youthforia was asked to expand their shade range, but instead of creating a human skin tone of dark brown, they created a pitch black shade that could not work for any human being. It was not a mixing shade. It was not meant for goth makeup. It was supposed to be matching a natural human skin tone, and it did not because it had no undertone. And it does not matter how many digitized photos you have seen on the internet, there is no human on the planet that is just black. Everybody has an undertone. And I think that's been one of the most shocking things for a lot of people to see, is that people genuinely believed that there were people who were jet black in tone. So if you were one of those people, you are not alone, but that is wrong. No matter which person you were thinking of that you think is jet black, they're not. They're just not. So anyway, due to the severe backlash that has made mainstream news across many outlets, Youthforia products have been pulled from 3 of their retailers. The first one to pull them was Credo Beauty, and then Revolve just pulled them, and most recently 13 Lune. 13 Lune's whole thing is making sure that cosmetics for people of color are readily available, and that's what they focus on, so it makes sense that they would be pulled from there. They're currently still available at their other retailers like Ulta Beauty and JCPenney, and of course their own website. There have been no updates to their Instagram or their TikTok. They've also still have all of their comments off. Nothing new over there, but there was a very interesting article that I am going to link below. All of my resources are always below, but this one is fascinating because it's an interview where they asked other small business owners, small beauty business owners, what they thought of the Youthforia fiasco. And did they think that Youthforia could come back from this? Here are a few comments from that article. Robin Turner is the founder and formulator of Violet Botanical Skincare. She said, the Youthforia controversy illustrates to indie beauty brands that if you don't have enough humanity and respect to sincerely formulate products for people with rich melanin skin tones, then don't do it. It only shows that you truly represent disrespect and racism. And when asked if she thought that Youthforia could come back, she said no, they cannot and should not be saved. This is not their first quote, misstep, they made their bed, let them lie in it. Lauren Reddick, who is the founder and CEO of the Regimen Company, added, before you jump on the inclusivity train, you've got to do the work. Listen to what people want. Bring people onto your team who can address concerns and speak to the needs of the group you are trying to include rather than doing something for the sake of it. Inclusivity requires intentionality, and Youthforia really missed the mark with this one. What they did was hurtful, harmful, and disingenuous. And then Victoria Minari, she is the founder of Minari Skincare. She said about brands who are truly inclusive, those will be the brands that are here to stay and the brands that will stand the test of time. It's always easy to spot the brands who use diversity and inclusion as tropes and buzzwords within their organization without any real information or follow through. Unfortunately, Youthforia has now fully landed in that bracket of brands. For more brand founder reactions, definitely read the full article linked below. Last week in the product report, which is all of the products that launched this week, that video launches on Mondays. So in that video, we talked about how weird it was that both Charlotte Tilbury and Bella Hadid's Aura Bella launched what they both called mood-boosting fragrances on the same day. Now, of course, we know that all fragrances in a way are supposed to be mood boosting. We know that mood boosting fragrances are not anything new, but we don't typically see major brands advertising that as a dominant factor in their marketing. So to have two brands launching on the exact same day with the exact same theme was weird to me. And what I love about this community is you all help me make connections that I hadn't thought of. And we actually covered the story a while ago, but I had just forgotten. And it was that Bella Hadid worked for Charlotte Tilbury until about 8 months into the contract, they ended the contract. It was weird. The public reason they gave for the end of the contract was something called force majeure, which I'd never heard of, so I had to look it up. It basically means that both parties are free from obligation if an extraordinary event directly prevents one or both parties from upholding the contract. And supposedly this reason is very rare in the cosmetic industry. At the time, fans were surprised because it seemed like Bella and Charlotte were very, very close. Here's a video.
Bella, darling.
Charlotte, darling.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to be here with you. I love you.
I love you. Mwah.
A source from Charlotte Tilbury at the time told the Daily Mail that they had been gearing up for a major promotional campaign when the plans were abruptly halted with no explanation, even to the staff involved in the campaign, that they'd been working on this. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, never mind. She's not doing it. She's leaving. It's like, wait, what? What? Bella's father is Palestinian, so she had been speaking out about the atrocities happening in Gaza, and a lot of people speculated that maybe they fired her because she had been speaking out about what was happening in Gaza. But Charlotte Tilbury denied that that was true. Instead, a spokesperson had said, "We're thrilled that Bella is launching her own range later this year. We've always loved working with Bella, and while her contract has come to an end, she remains a great friend of both Charlotte and the brand, and we look forward to creating more magical beauty moments together in the future." So it's clear now that you all helped me make this connection, because I didn't see it before and I wanted to make sure I said it publicly, that it seems like the reason why Bella left was specifically because they were coming out with the same product. But where this still doesn't make any sense is why were they launched on the same day? Who made that? There's no way that was a coincidence. There's no freaking way. And the fact that they're both mood boosting, something is going on here that they're not saying. I wish I knew what it was. Rosie is now gone from Rose Inc. Yep, it is true. Rosie Huntington-Whiteley has stepped down from her position over at Rose Inc. She founded the brand in 2018 and she no longer wants to be associated with it. Specifically, she doesn't want anybody to think that she has anything to do with this brand anymore. In an Instagram post, the English model said that her decision to step down from the brand was due to significant changes within the business. She said in August of 2023, Amorous Inc., Rose Inc.'s joint venture partner, declared bankruptcy, leading to the sale of Rose Inc.'s assets to the highest bidder at auction. And what she's talking about is that the brand was purchased by Hong Kong-based asset management firm AA Investments. They purchased Rose Inc. for $2.5 million back in December of 2023. She continued, the brand is now under new ownership, and moving forward, I am no longer involved or affiliated with its operations, products, or promotional activities. What the heck is going on over there for her to be like, oh, hell no. I know you own the brand. You're not going to listen to me. You're going to do what you want to do. I am out. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want anybody to think I'm... What is going on over there? Her statement gets even more dramatic. She says authenticity and integrity are paramount to me in any business endeavor on which I embark, and therefore it is time for me to close this chapter and pursue new adventures. Her post continued by thanking the Rose Inc. community for their support, commitment, and belief. The Rose Inc. official Instagram account confirmed by saying, with deep gratitude and undying respect, we especially thank Rosie Huntington Whiteley for her creativity, passion, and beliefs that gave birth to Rose Inc. One of Rosie's new adventures is something called the Equity Studio. It is a new firm offering funding and strategic advice to beauty and wellness brands. She joined them back in March. So cheers to Rosie for her new adventures, and good luck to AA Investments without her. In my opinion, they're going to need it. Yes, my friend, we have another celebrity beauty brand this week. We've been keeping a running tab on all of the celebrity beauty brands launching in 2024. So here is a quick recap in case you were not here for the last time we recapped this last week. So 3 brands launched in February from Pamela Anderson, Beyonce, and LeBron James. 2 launched in March from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Nicki Minaj. 2 in April from Serena Williams and Rita Ora. And just last week we had Orabella from Bella Hadid. So that is a count of 8 beauty brands so far in 2024, started by celebrities. Are you ready for number 9? It's coming out of the world of sports. We have surfing legend Kelly Slater, who is well known for being critical of sunscreen, launching a skincare line that includes sunscreen. The brand is called Freaks of Nature, and it is in partnership with incubator Squared Circles. Also behind the brand are investors like actor Jonah Hill. The CEO is the former senior director of operations and product development at the grooming company Billy. In a statement, Kelly said, quote, "My entire career I've been looking for products that are engineered for performance and built for me as a professional athlete, but that are not detrimental to my body or the planet. With Freaks of Nature, we finally cracked the code, enabling athletes to go harder at their sport for longer." But he wasn't always a fan of sunscreen. And keep in mind, this post is from 2011. It's a very, very long time ago, so we don't know what his current thoughts are on sunscreen. We know that he doesn't want anything that's detrimental to his body or the planet. The post said, "Good info on sunscreens. I almost never use sunscreens. This backs my theory up," accompanied by an article from a website. It has a bunch of non-science-y information that is presented to be science-y. It is called Natural News. Their current subheading is Defending Health, Life, and Liberty. So make what you will of that. And the article itself is absolutely atrocious and really just spreads so much misinformation. So that's where he was then. Maybe he's progressed some since then. I don't even know. But like I was saying, it does seem that Kelly has a focus here of making his products as natural as possible. To meet this need, Freaks of Nature's debut SPF 30 mineral sunscreen, the $35 Daily Defender sunscreen, has bee silk or biotechnology-derived vegan spider silk that the brand describes as producing a microbiome-friendly biofilm that provides an extra layer of protection against environmental stressors. The brand says that they have clinical data showing the biofilm boosts pollution wash-off by almost 100%. In another strange marketing move, the Freaks of Nature second product, the $48 Deep Dive Moisturizer, features biofabricated shark protein, claiming that 2 to 3 million sharks are killed annually for squalane, which I would love to see the source on. I need a professional to weigh in on this and tell me that this is BS, because I feel in my soul that this is BS, but I have no evidence that it's BS, so
I do not have the professional qualifications here, but I'm hoping, Michelle Wong, Dr. Dre, Javon Ford, like somebody I hope weighs in on this.
Although Freaks of Nature is not starting off selling at Ulta and Sephora, they do have their eye on moving to those retailers. They also have their eye on moving into stores like REI, the outdoor store. The brand said in a statement that they feel that beauty specialty chains are, quote, starting to wake up to the athletic consumer increasingly, especially the female athletic consumer, with an eye on the Olympics. Freaks of Nature hopes to be a skin protection brand for the outdoor athlete. You can currently find them on their website, and you will find the tagline, "The only barrier between you and peak outdoor performance is your skin barrier." And in legal news this week, Sephora kids, watch out. California's coming for your skincare. California is known around the United States as being the most regulated state in the country when it comes to food and cosmetics. They are the ones that have Proposition 65, where you have warnings on coffee that the coffee might cause cancer. And it's just, they regulate a lot over in California, and they're looking to add another regulation thanks to Democratic California Assembly member Alex Lee. He has been pushing for California AB 2491 bill to be put into effect. The bill would have kids, as one option, show ID for proof of age to prevent those under 13 from buying skincare that is advertised as anti-aging. Now, I did a full video on Sephora kids and the legit dangers of kids using anti-aging skincare. Things like retinol and chemical exfoliators like AHAs, glycolic acid is an example of that. I did a full video. I am not for kids using these products, but I'm also not for just ridiculous regulations that are difficult to implement and also don't work. The bill specifically targets those ingredients that I just talked about, the retinols, the retinoids, the AHAs, but I don't think they talk to a cosmetic chemist about this because, yes, they talk about the glycolic acid, which is an AHA that kids absolutely should not be using, but they also list in here ascorbic acid and citric acid that would have a warning on the products that they're not safe for kids.
More on that in just a minute, because I did talk to an actual cosmetic chemist about this one and I have his thoughts, but hold on to that for a second, because I also think that it's important to talk about that this has passed the Environmental Safety and Toxic Materials Committee. So those are the people that are in legislation. These are not necessarily professionals in this area. They're just the legislators on this committee. They have passed the bill through to the next step. Organizations and retailers agree that they don't support children using anti-aging products, but they oppose this bill, in my opinion, for very good reasons. According to Lee's website, the bill would require businesses to take a reasonable step to prevent anyone under 13 from purchasing anti-aging products. This could be to ask for a birth date at checkout. Like, kids can't do math and figure out an older birth date, whatever. Or showing a photo ID, which of course a lot of kids don't have because they're children. Putting up signs next to products that aren't meant for kids under 13, or preventing kids from using prepaid credit cards for online purchases. Opposition to the bill states that the bill, though well-intended, doesn't address the real issue. Instead, it created complicated restrictions that would be hard to enforce and over-regulate products that are safe for kids, like moisturizers, sunscreens, and cleansers. I have so many freaking questions about this, and I'm legit irritated. And this is the kind of thing that made me really upset when I was a public school teacher, is that the people that are making the laws don't know what the freak they're talking about. They don't. And then the people that are actually working in the industry are the ones that have to deal with it. And that arrogance just makes me so mad. Because in the end, I feel like myself and also Perry Romanowski that I spoke to, who's the cosmetic chemist, we all agree that kids should not be using these products, but this is the dumbest bill. All right, let's talk about it. So first, why 13? No one under 18 should be using retinols unless they are prescribed by a doctor for acne specifically. No one under 18 should be using glycolic acid. They literally don't need it. It is to help skin that has stopped being able to exfoliate as well. Like people my age, we need that help. Kids don't need that help to extra exfoliate their skin. They're fine. and it can legit cause damage and irritation to their skin. So I don't understand why it's 13. In my opinion, it should be 18. And the second one has to do with that vitamin C is an exfoliator and that citric acid is an exfoliator. I emailed Perry and I was like, Perry, I have a question because I'm confused. And Perry was like, yes, technically they have some exfoliating properties, but not in the concentrations that are in skincare. The primary use of the ascorbic acid is as a vitamin C. It's an antioxidant. And the primary reason for citric acid is as a pH adjuster. So if they put those limitations on those two ingredients, so many products will be mislabeled as unsafe for kids. Kids can use a basic moisturizer. That moisturizer could have vitamin C in it and be completely safe. And with citric acid being a pH adjuster in so many products, it's going to mislabel a lot of things as dangerous for kids that are perfectly safe. Perry never speaks in absolutes when I ask him questions like this, but this was what he said when I asked him if these ingredients, specifically the ascorbic acid and the citric acid, were dangerous for kids. He said, not likely at the levels used in cosmetics, but regulators are gonna regulate. Really, honestly and truly, this needs to be on the parents. Parents need to know what their kids are buying and putting on their face. And if parents are not paying attention to the products that kids are using, then that's a tough lesson for everybody. It's not going to cause permanent damage for these kids. It is just going to cause irritation, and they'll learn their lesson that don't use something that's specifically not meant for you. I am all for government regulations in certain situations. I think it can be very appropriate. I do not think it's appropriate in this situation. If the government really wants to do something, maybe provide education for people. Maybe in these stores like Sephora, buy the skincare, there's a little plastic thing that has little pamphlets in it that parents can grab. And it says skincare for your kids provided by the state of California. And it's a fact sheet so that parents can help and pick out appropriate products for their kids and make that available. Make it a teachable moment. And that was my big point in my Sephora Kids video, is that why aren't we teaching kids about the biology of their skin so they know what they need? Because that is a life skill, to know what products are good for you and what products are not good for you. Teach them about that instead of just saying, no, you cannot have it. You're using a gift card, so therefore you cannot purchase this. It's like, it's just going about it all freaking wrong. As a society, we need to stop treating kids like they can't learn something. As a former elementary school teacher, I can assure you that most kids are able to wrap their brains around these concepts if people just take the time to teach them. And finally, for our lighthearted story this week, I legit couldn't find anything. So I went over to TikTok and I was like, let's find a fun video. This video is old. It's from like a year and a half ago, but I thought it was really cute. Play the clip, Bob.
Just went into the bathroom and found my mom's makeup brush looking like a fucking crushed hamster. And what is her explanation for it? I like it.
To me, this is the epitome of do what you want to do. Who cares if anyone's judging you? If you want to use a makeup brush like that, that is your 100% right. And I'm happy that she has a makeup brush that she loves and enjoys, even if it's a little weird. It's okay. You do you. And that, my friend, was what's up in makeup this week. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, as always, thank you to the What's Up in Makeup Facebook hunters. Their names are scrolling below me. Thank you for all of your submissions this week. I appreciate you so much. Our chat today is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be live talking about makeup, talking about things that are happening in the industry. If you would like to join us, please do. We would love to have you. But if you are not able to make it, it's no problem at all. It's very easy to find on the replay, especially if you are subscribed. So take a second to hit the subscribe button and it'll just be in your subscription feed right there. But if you are not subscribed, you can also find it by going to my channel page and clicking on the live tab. They're housed there, as well as down in the description box down below. There is a link to the What's Up in Makeup live chat podcast. You can click that and you can find all of the live streams that we've done since the beginning of 2023. So thank you again so much for watching. Just a reminder, there will be no What's Up in Makeup for the next 2 weeks. I planned this trip a very long time ago to go with my mama on a cruise to the Caribbean. We're going to have a little Mother's Day, mother-daughter trip, and I am so excited. So no What's Up in Makeup for 2 weeks, but on that second week, there will be a live chat. Videos for the channel. Tomorrow we
we'll have our regular product report for What's Up in Makeup, and after that, I will see you in 2 weeks. But if you miss me, if you want to see more content, YouTube should be recommending a couple of videos for you over here to watch, including last week's top news segment. It's going to be right there. YouTube's going to pick the top video for you based on your personal viewing history. But if you do have to go, I get it. It is no problem at all. Thank you for hanging out as long as you did, and mad love to you. And I will see you in a video very, very soon.